Hello everyone, this is Lolly. Welcome back. I apologize in advance for the sound that you will hear in the background, and that is because with my husband working at home during the pandemic, I must keep the air conditioner going. Okay, so I'm going to work on this today, and I'm going to make, well, this is July, and I want to make a banner. Now my goal is, I'm thinking that I do want to hang it from a thick dowel rod. I think this is a 1/2 inch. It is. It's a 1/2 inch dowel rod. And the Kraft-tex color of the month is this, which is Marsala. But I saw that and thought, what a great Americana project this would make to use the Marsala, the linen, and the sapphire together. So I want to make it here, and I could sew it or glue it, you know, to itself, but I also want to be able to take it off and then put it on this hanger and hang it in the closet when it's not the 4th of July, right? And that I could make more banners and just have them all on hangers hanging in the closet. And so for that, I would need to put a snap on here. So instead of gluing or sewing, I'm going to do a snap. So what I have measured is 13 inches wide, and this piece is 8.5 inches long. This piece is 7 inches long, and this piece is 8.5 inches long. And the top one is longer, so I can go around and do the snap, and the bottom one is longer because I'm going to do the fishtail banner at the bottom, and it needs to be a little longer for that. So let's start with this. I have made a little template here. It's 13 inches wide, and what I want to do is figure out kind of how big to put that right there. I've got to have room for the snaps, you know, the snaps. Okay, so right about there. So I'm going to measure this for you. I folded the top down 1 inch and 1/8. No, 1 inch and 5/8. I have a template here, and I have measured, so it is also 13 inches long, and I have it measured at 1 inch, 6.5 inches, and at 12 inches. That's where I'm going to put my snaps, and I measured in 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to line that up with the edge here. Alrighty, and then all I need to do is poke a hole through where I have my crosshairs. Now I can take all of this off. Okay, so what we need is a lot of pieces here. Now these are a bright blue. I don't have anything this color, but I think from the front I'm going to cover them up with stars maybe so that we don't see them. Okay, I need convex and concave, and 2 of the ones that look like tacks. For each one of these, I need one of those sets of 4. Now, we want the pretty side facing out, so I'm going to put that there. And I don't get these all confused here. Keep all the sets together, and I'm going to put it doesn't matter whether it's convex or concave right here. I will put a link down below to the snap kit that I use. This is Cam Snaps. Okay, and now for this part, I have the convex there. I'm going to put the concave on the inside, but I have to put this here first. Pretty side down, up, I mean. Perfect. Let me make sure this fits before I get carried away here. Yes, it does. The black part, or the smooth part, this part here goes down here on the base when you snap. And it's a tendency of mine to grab it with 2 hands because I'm used to setting eyelets, but I want to remind you that you really shouldn't use 2 hands unless you're very, very, very weak. Now here's the tricky part. This is too far of a reach, so I am going to kind of roll up the Kraft-tex, I hope, so I can reach in there. It's a little tricky and fiddly. Okay, now I'm just going to snap these so that I know what dimensions I'm working with. So you can see it's a really bright blue, but it's okay. Now I had thought about like scalloping the edges here, but the only problem with that is that my dies, this is too wide to put through my die cutting machine. But if you have decorative scissors, you could use those. You just can't get a really big scallop. You could also draw it out and cut it by hand. That's totally doable. So what you could do is die cut like some paper and then trace that here and do a scallop, or you could do a strip. Like for instance, I could take a strip, this is not a strip, pretend this is a strip of paper or a strip of Kraft-tex. I could do a strip and put that and die cut it and put that across the edge. So I could do that. I could glue this on and do a strip of the Marsala here, but I don't think I want that. Let me just think. So what you can do, you can glue this, you can use your Fabri-Tac, you can use some permanent glues. I'm going to overlap mine by about 1/2 inch and see what I think with that. When I'm done, I'll trim up my edges. And then I will glue the other one on here as well on the bottom. I'm going to make the scallop, not the scallop, I'm going to make my fishtail on this. So I need to turn this over and I'm going to measure the middle here. So actually I'm going to go off camera for a sec because my lines are down here. I'm using the grid on my craft mat and I'm going to measure 6.5 inches. There, and I'm bringing it up so you can see that's right there. I'm going to just come up here and I'm just eyeballing this. I think I want my, how I want those fishtails. I'm going to come in, I'm lining my ruler with 6.5 on the top of my mat and the line that I drew down here. And I am going to draw a dot, let's see, if I like 3 inches up. I have a wavy scissor that I like, and I want to see how well that cuts the Kraft-tex. It does pretty good, but I think once I get to the middle of it, I lose strength. I might as well go for it. If I don't like it, I could cut it off, right? Alrighty, so that's done, and that's what it's going to look like over there. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, like I said, is gluing that on, overlapping it, and I want to do, I'm going to glue it first. Now you do not have to sew this, but I just want to say that if you do, which I'm going to top stitch all around here. And right now I'm wondering, should I do, in order to match, should I do the zigzag here as well? And I think I might as well. But then I'm going to top stitch all over mine, and you do not need to do that if you're making one of these. So let me work on this, and I'll do this one off camera. So what I want to do is use some heat transfer vinyl and put words on each of these 3 segments, and maybe land that I love or something like that. And so I'm going to look at my designs that I have or do my own design either way and look at my vinyl. I may go with silver or gold or something like that, or a combination of colors. So we'll see. Hi, so now I'm at Silhouette Design Studio. I am going to go to my library and let's see, I was looking at fireworks. Let's do land. Let's select this land that I love. Now I am going, it's already highlighted. I'm going to right click and ungroup it because I want to get rid of these pieces here. I just want the words. Now, it does change things a little bit when you've got your font at an angle. I want to rotate this, so I'm going to right click and move this. I'm looking at my grid here, kind of get that even. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. I want it more level, not at a slant. Okay, now I don't want the I here, so I'm going to right click, highlight it, right click and ungroup, and I'm going to move the I. I want mine to have land at the top, that I in the middle, and love down here. Now I don't like this I, so I'm going to fix it. I don't like this part here because it looks more like a capital T almost, so I'm going to change it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I am going to grab this knife tool, slice that right off of there. Always push the arrow. Okay, so now I have this, and I'm going to make it a little bigger so I can see what I'm doing. I want to make it skinnier so that I made it long, but I'm making it skinny again to match the width of this other stroke. And then I'm going to rotate that and put it how I want it. Now to make sure that I line this up right, I'm going to hit this up here, which is the zoom, and then touch where I want to zoom. So now I can see that I didn't line it up correctly. I can get that point matched up pretty well there. Okay, and come back out. Now, it's still not attached, so I'm going to highlight both of those, right-click and weld. Done. And I have fixed it so that at least I don't dislike it anymore. Okay. So now, the other thing I want to do is space these how I want them. That and the I. Highlight both of them, right-click and group them so they travel together. And I don't want this to be that big, so I'm going to make it smaller. Now I remember that my work, what I'm working on is 12 inches wide. But the bigger I make this, the taller it gets as well. And let me think about how tall I want to fit this. Okay, right about there. And then this, a little bit bigger. And then the love, I want to be about as big as the land. All I have to do is come over and match the L's here. Pretty good. Okay, now let's see if we can get this to fit on here. I've chosen the glitter, silver glitter heat transfer vinyl because that's going to look more like fireworks to me. Alrighty, so now I'm going to highlight the whole thing, right click and group it. And then I'm going to right click again and flip horizontally because you need to do mirror image when you're working on heat transfer. So when I hit send, I have to connect this to my Cameo. I haven't done it yet. You see it's unavailable. I'm looking at all my lines to make sure it's cutting in the right place. Sometimes when you use just a regular font instead of a file that you buy, you'll find the letters are not connected and you need to weld them. So this is already set to heat transfer glitter, which is the blade depth of 3 and the force of 33. So I will connect this, send it, and cut it, and we will be back. Okay, so I'm going to take these, set them aside, and read this out. Perfect. Now, I saved these. Lori Nunemaker had a great idea. You can actually use hole punches and punch this out and still iron it onto your project. So I have the Easy Press mat here, and we're going to heat this at 315 for 30 seconds. I'm just going to unsnap this so that I can get as flat as possible here. Actually, I need to measure it. I'm looking at the snaps as well. So I'm going to lay this on here and kind of give it a measurement. Now the snaps are going to cause me a problem with the heat. I can't go up high enough, so I may have to do this in 2 sections. Okay, I think I am, because those snaps are going to cause me a problem there. So 30 seconds here, and then I need to get this L, because that's not getting heated. I'm not really putting pressure, but I am holding it in place so it doesn't slide. Okay, I'm going to come over here and get this. I'm going to turn it over and get, just going to do the back for a sec. Okay, now the reason that I didn't attach all my pieces in the banner together was because I knew that to have a ridge here where I had the pieces glued together was going to cause a problem with the Easy Press. So now, if I figure this is about where that's going to get glued, I need to place this on there. And there's no snaps here, so I can do this in one setting, one heat. Okay, now we need to look at this bottom part. That will be overlapped about that much. I can tell I need to press this a little bit just to get it flattened out here. "30 seconds isn't enough. So I'm going to do 40. And I've also discovered that this needs to be a cool peel. So I'm going to let this cool off. That did much better. Oh, love it. Okay, let's clean up and let's assemble this now. What I want to do is get my Fabri-Tac ready. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to line my pieces up with the lines on my craft mat so I can tell that I'm getting a straight line here. Okay, now you'll notice that I didn't like glue all these points down because it's okay with me if they curl up. That's just absolutely fine. So I am going to take it to my machine and I'm going to top stitch here. I might top stitch here too. I will have to probably roll the Kraft-tex up so I can fit it into my sewing machine. Okay. So that is all stitched. You can see I did top stitch right across here. Again, these are not stitched on there. And then I have used the dies to cut out some stars out of my scraps. And the more I look at this, the more this bright blue doesn't bother me, but I think I will kind of cover those up anyway. It's going to take a little bit because I'm actually molding this around the snap. So it's going to be like a puffy star. Oh, I'm loving it. I love the addition of the stars there. It's so cute. Okay, now I was thinking that I could do these here even at an angle or like that. And they don't always have to be facing the same way. I had those all facing the same way at the top, but they don't have to be. I think that's about good. I don't want to just plaster it with stars. You could also take a star and put it inside one of the other colors. That would be okay. I think I'm actually good with that. I am done. Okay, I had wire the right gauge that I wanted to string this with. Well, it turns out I lent that to my husband, and now I can't get it right now. So I am going to use some chain. This will do the same thing. And let's see here. I'm going to use this, which is a split ring. I think I'm going to have a jump ring to attach this. Otherwise, it'd be too crazy. So people always ask me about my chain. I pick it up wherever I see it. That means thrift stores is usually where I get them from. And I haven't cut my length yet because I don't know how long I need this to be. Okay, this will slide on there. So now I'm just kind of measuring. Okay, and then I will tell you how long this is. It is about 22 inches. Okay, there. So that's what that looks like. Now I will give you a picture at the end, but I have another thought here. I have this organza here. And I love that this actually has silver glitter in it, which is perfect. I'm going to fold this in half and make a little fishtail there. How cute is that? Let's do this side as well. Now, to get the bow to lay horizontally with the project, instead of being this way, when I put this ribbon on here, I put the left side over the right to start with. Now I can see these ones need to be shortened a little bit. Okay, I think that's perfect because I know you can't really tell, but there's got silver glitter in the organza. It is just so cute. Now I can hang it up, and when it is no longer, 4th of July season, I can unsnap it, put it on the hanger, and hang it in my closet. How great is that? So stay tuned for photos.